What's going on? So yesterday I went ahead and I installed the pod lights. I am not anything like, I'm not electronically inclined. I'm more of an artist, but it seemed like it would be a little, it'd be simple to install given the fact that I have the auxiliary switches, and I got the base Sasquatch because I figured I would want to pretty much make it my own and add upgrades instead of paying extra for stuff that I'm going to be taking off. Might as well just upgrade it. I'm going to get a stereo system aftermarket. Cat skin leathers are ordered, and my first mod, actually my second one, my first one was the tinting the windows. So I went ahead with, got the 20% tint, and these are the light pods that I went with, and here they are. Pop the hood open to show you the wiring, and I also did a little how-to, and it took about like an hour and a half to install both. So I hope you watch all the way through. I try to make the video as simple and to the point and direct as possible. So this is my setup right here. I basically ran the wire into, there's a little hole here that the wire fits perfectly, and it came out down there, and I use these cable ties to keep them in place, and just ran the wire all the way across. And here's my ground. I used on the same spot over there, use the ground, and yellow is for the auxiliary switch 1, which is the yellow wire down here, and I used blue to color code all of my grounds. They're going to be blue. And I pretty much used, Harbor Freight. It was like a $5 package, and just used this is an 8mm, and this is a T40 screw that you're going to require, and also a crimper. So you just need a ratchet, 8mm and bit, and a T40 bit, and you're pretty much set. Negative to a spot here, and then I ran my positive. I'm going to connect it to auxiliary switch number 1, and I use these computer cable organizers to basically run the wire nice and neatly all the way across. So these are my pod lights right here, as a positive and negative, and this is the bracket that I'm going to screw in. Put a little bit of felt-tip tape just to protect the plastic in case I ever want to remove them. I'm not going to have a really bad scratched side mirror. So this is a screw that came off the side mirror cover, and I'm going to go ahead and use that to mount the light onto, basically it's going to go right here. And then I'm going to run, let me get my flashlight because it's starting to get dark. Then I'm going to run my cables. You see that little gap right there? Right here, I'm going to run my cables right through there, and it's going to come out. It's going to come out from right underneath here, and I'm just going to run it. I'm going to connect it to the yellow one, which I believe it's auxiliary 1. You can go ahead and tighten it using your T20. So the pod's mounted, and I went ahead and I ran the wires down through this little hole here that you see in the through the seal, and they ended up popping out right there. Now I'm just going to go ahead and run them, just down to here, and then I'm going to plug them into the yellow wire, which I believe is auxiliary 1. It's getting dark, so I'm using the flashlight, but I'm almost done. So this is where my ground is going to run. I have yellow for my auxiliary 1 since it's going to the yellow wire, and I got my negative, which is my ground wire, which is going to go to, like, you can pick either one, and I'm using a 8mm socket to loosen up the 8mm bolt. It's late and I'm having to use my flashlight, but I went ahead and I got one of the pods to the yellow wire, and I'm going to go ahead and plug the other wire onto the other side to get power to the one that's running along the side. And I went ahead and I put them through this hole, but I'm using computer cable guides, you know, with just to hold the cable in place, and I put it in here just to protect it from rubbing against the metal and eventually having bare wire. But here's my setup. Blue is the ground, yellow is power, and hopefully everything goes good. So there it is, all nicely tucked in. I used, once again, the little computer cable organizers, just stuck them on. I cleaned the surface with alcohol to make sure I got a proper adhesive, and there's the yellows, the power, blues is the ground wire that is connected to over here. And I went ahead and I spliced both, you know, pods to the connector, and once again I'm running the cable through the cable guide all the way across. Now, moment of truth, see if the auxiliary switches, if I did a good job. Let's see, auxiliary 1, and let's go. Yes. And bam. So hopefully you liked the video, and I hope it is as informative and makes it easier for you to do simple light pod installations on the side mirrors. All right, take care and subscribe.